Sales training number I do not remember. Okay, guys, I know that a lot of you think I'm a little cocky, a little arrogant, and I am, and I hope not to change. But we have had a icky little bugaboo running through my office of late. We're having a very mediocre month, and I can't stand mediocre months. And I'm going to tell you what my problem is, and it's partially me, but it's also my sales force and others. And it is the ultimate curse to salesperson, and it is a failure in confidence. And if I do not spell confidence correctly, big woo. I'm going to misspell a lot of words. Guys, confidence matters. Confidence is everything. Confidence is huge. It is so huge. Being confident when you walk in the room is massive. And when it starts to get eroded, it's tough to get back. So I'm going to look a little bit on this issue today and discuss it. The importance of confidence. Presidential. They say when you're running for president, act presidential. It's a confidence issue. I mean, it's why we loved Ronald Reagan. And yeah, he did some really great things. He did some really dumb things too. I'm sorry to tell you, but he did. But you know what we loved? He was strong. He was a confident leader. I can't stand Bill Clinton. No offense to those of y'all that love him. I think he did a terrible job. But you want to know the thing I do admire about him, and I respected and liked when he was there? That man was confident. When he got up and looked in the camera, you didn't doubt him. Even when he was busted, he sat back, took a hit for a day or two, and he got up and got rolling. He was strong. He was confident. He acted presidential. Salespeople are the same way. If your doctor walks in and he lacks confidence, you're getting a friggin' second opinion. If he walks in, he's confident as heck, you may have a surgery you shouldn't have had because you trust that and you respect it. Your clients are the same way. The level to which you exude confidence is directly relevant to the level to which they are going to want to do business with you. It is everything in sales. It is everything in consulting. It is everything at the final end on getting referrals and all of it. You show lack of confidence and you're hurting, and it all snowballs from there. Now, forgive me, I'm going to step to a side. I want to back up. How does confidence get hurt? How does it get knocked down? Life just does it, guys. Life will tear you up. Life will eat you alive. It will take you apart if you give it a chance. Things you can do to build up your confidence. And some of these are going to be silly to a few of you. But number one, affirmations. They can be as dorky as Stuart Smalley from Saturday Night Live. They can be as complicated as a mantra. A lot of y'all have heard me tell you the story about one of the men that taught me how to sell way, way back in the 80s. And it was a young man, and he was a sales manager at the Ford's dealership. And I had asked him how he had learned, how had he gotten good. And he pulled me aside and he gave me a little book, or told me to go buy a book by Bob Magdino called The Greatest Salesman in the World. And he told me, he goes, there's a band called Bachman Turner Overdrive, BTO, had a song called Looking Out for Number One. He said, and I love that song. He said, so I played it on the radio behind me, and I got a little cassette recorder, because this is the old days, the old cassettes, and you had to have the little handheld mic. They were funny looking. And he said, I pushed it down, and I read myself quotes that meant something to me from that book. And he let me listen to it. And I mean, trust me, the guy swore me to secrecy. He was embarrassed he did this. But he let me listen to it. And it was constantly in the background, looking out for number one. And he read, I am great. I am confident. I mean, all these affirmations and quotes that meant a lot to him. And it built him up. And I guarantee you, this little dude that did not have a high school education, that had done some jail time, that was only 24 years old, was one of the most successful men I had met at the time. And he was making 80 grand a year back in 1988. It's not half bad. And he credits 100% of that to such. So if you don't like them, these are just ideas, guys, but trust me, it has value. It changes your self-talk. And we'll get on that a little bit more later, but that's huge. B, or two, whatever you want. Songs you love. If it's something as goofy and romantic as Copacabana, go for it. If it's Barry Manilow, go for it. If it is the theme song from Rocky, go for it. Some of us are country and western songs. Some of us are rock and roll. Some songs make us feel better. Some songs make us feel we can conquer the world. Some make us feel loved. Whatever, any song that makes you feel positive, do it. There's a song, I can't think of it right now, but I Know My Redeemer Lives. A cute little gal, sings Christian music, did the theme songs for the old Veggie Tales. But either way, she has a song, I Know My Redeemer Lives. I guarantee you, I put that on, I cry. I literally cry, and I sing it so loud and so poorly, it would drive mice out of the walls. But afterwards, send me anybody. I own it. It's powerful to me. It means something to me deep in my soul. Whatever that is for you. That stuff builds you up. Listen to that stuff. Don't listen to too much talk radio that's just negativity and insulting. Another one, inspiring shows. You've heard me say this to you before. It can be a TV show. Usually it's a movie. Watch something that gets you pumped up. When your confidence is starting to get hit, go watch something that gets you pumped. Some of you will think I'm an evil man for telling you this, but there's an old movie called Boiler Room. You've probably heard me even mention before. If I'm ever feeling kicked in sales, man, I put that movie in. It gets me ready to go. The old original Wall Street can do the exact same thing. Boiler Room has one scene where, what's the guy that was in Good Will Hunting? Ben Affleck is a sales trainer, one of the greatest sales training scenes in the history of the world. Folks that say that scene from Glengarry Glen Ross is, they don't have any idea what they're talking about. This devastates it. Movie's worth watching for that one scene alone. Next, sermons. And for those of you non-church Christian church attenders, this can apply to your own. If you go to Church of Oprah, it can still apply. I'm going to, however, deal with it more in the Judeo-Christian standpoint. Listen to some great sermons. And don't listen to the ones where a guy's just telling you how bad you are and how evil you are and how sinful you are. Listen to some that speak about the positives of God. Yes, we're sinners. Yes, we have to be fixed. But you know what? We are redeemed. And we are made right. We have won the race. And we are racing to win it all. But ultimately, the victory is ours, and it says so. Name that. Claim that. Own that. And I don't mean, I get $1 million and here's your... No. Know who you are. There is positivity in God. There is positivity in your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. There is energy in that. Listen to it. Believe it. Own it. Because there's enough of us Christians and there's enough of an enemy, they're going to constantly be kicking you down, that you're going to get ate up with the negativity of it, and you're going to forget that. Don't let that take away. Get those sermons that work. Get the ones that make you feel good. And I'm not telling you not to listen to the ones that make you feel bad now and then, not to listen to the ones that have some, hey, things I need to work on. That has value too. But I'm talking about building your confidence, giving yourself the strength it takes to go into the day. Because guys, sales is the hardest job in the world, period. And you want to know why? Because we face rejection. And there's something deep in our souls that does not want to be rejected. We worry, are we good enough? We worry, do we pass? We have a hurt to fill. And anytime somebody rejects us, that speaks that little inner child and hurts. And it will cripple you. Going in, having the courage to face rejection every day is the hardest job in the world. You've got to give yourself things to give you the strength to get to it. If you have a job of digging ditches, you know what? You don't try to do it drinking water. You drink milk, you eat steak, and you build up strength. Confidence builds up your strength to go to this job. These things matter. Positive feedback. Get positive feedback. Get it anywhere you can. My people tell you, I'll come into them every now and then and say, guys, you got to say something nice to me today. I can't have any negative. Every Monday morning, and some of these fellows who work for me despise it. I don't care. Every Monday morning, we begin with a group meeting. And yes, the purpose is to review all our deals. But before we do that, we go around as a group. And you have to pay at least one other person a compliment. And then to make it really unique, you have to compliment yourself. You'd be amazed how much harder it is to compliment yourself. But it cures a lot of these flaws. Get positive feedback. You got a client that wrote you a good letter. You got somebody that said something nice about you. Pull out your phone and record it, man. Save that letter. When you're feeling kicked, read it. When somebody said something bad, read it. Fill yourself with positive feedback. Remind yourself that you're good. Keep those cards and letters from your husband and wife. Keep those cards and letters from your kids where they said, I love you, Daddy, and you're the best. Stuff means something, man. I got one that embarrasses my son to death. He was 4 years old in preschool. It's a cute, sweet little picture of him on a swing set, but he gave us to his teacher, said, what makes you feel special? And he said, and I'm going to tear up just saying it because it means a lot to me. He said, it makes me feel special when my daddy hugs me. I keep that thing where I can see it every freaking day. That's positive feedback. That's strength that gets you through. Keep those things. That sweet letter your wife wrote you on your 10th anniversary, don't throw it away. Pull it out when you're feeling down. I'll even give you a side note. When you're having a fight and you're like, why am I married to her? Pull that out. It will remind you there's great value to that stuff. A sale. And I know this one's pretty simple. And it's kind of obvious. And a lot of you are like, that's the only one I wish you'd shut up and just stuck there. A win of any kind. Nothing cures confidence like a sale. Don't you dare get a sale and go home. You get a sale, you get on the phone and you call everybody you have talked to. You are strong and you are confident and you are riding high. You get a win, take it. If you got to go and cheat and get a win, take it. I don't care if the only thing, if you're getting kicked so bad you can't win nothing, go home, get out your old Nintendo, put it on the easiest setting of the old Mario Brother and dominate it. Win something. Get a win. Go find some crippled friend that can't. Take them bowling and beat them like a drum. Win something. You need a win. Every now and then you got to have a win. Some of you that won't realize it about yourself, think about your kids, because I promise you, if you're like me, you've had this talk. You've looked at their children, they're getting beat at school, and you're just, what can we do? And you just go, just needs to win. He just needs a win. She just needs a win. Just something to get their confidence back up. Trust me, brothers, the same is for you. Get a win. If you can get a sale, great. If you're struggling there and you're getting kicked and you're really hurting, go get a little win. And take that one to the next. And take that one to the next. Keep getting wins. And if you know you're going to lose and it's not directly related to business, don't go play the game. All right? Not until your confidence is back up and you're okay. Get a win. Now then, along those lines, why do you play? I need some napkins. Yeah, there's some right here. I know my whiteboard's worn out. My apologies, guys. I'm going to deal with this win question for a second. Why do you play patsies? I'll give you a side note. Fun little trivia. I love this. They do a study every year of the most profitable college sports departments. Now, everybody looks at the football department and says they're making millions of dollars. They're doing huge. It's incredible. It's so successful. But they sit there and they don't realize that that football department better be making billions of dollars because it's got to fund all these other sports. And Title IX dang near crippled a lot of them. Most universities actually lose money even though they're making millions in football. But there are a handful that make big money. You can think of a lot of them. If any of you are really thinking, I ask you who the number one is, what's going to come to your mind is going to be Texas. No school has a more successful fundraising sports area than Texas. They're huge. Here's hilarious. Texas last year, number 2. You know who number 1 was? I'm going to give you a second to have fun and try to figure it out. It was not Notre Dame. It was not Florida State. It wasn't Alabama. It was, here's some hits. It is another Big 12 school. Here's another hint. It is an original Big 8 school. So obviously not another Texas team. And no, it's not Oklahoma. Wish it was. And you're not going to guess it because it's a shock. I wouldn't have put them in the top 100. It's a little university called Kansas State that up until 15, 20 years ago was the biggest joke in the sporting world in history. But they have a little coach named Bill Snyder that did the Miracle in Manhattan, if you can recall, went to the losingest football program in history and turned them into one of the winningest, almost won them a national title a couple times, turned the daggum place into a winner. Because of him, They have more profitability at the end of the year than even friggin' Texas. That's huge. You want to know what Bill Snyder's secret is? He plays losers. He plays patsies. He knows he's going to have a tough enough time beating Oklahoma, beating Texas Tech, that he doesn't need to go and schedule Alabama in the offseason. So he schedules absolute losers. You know why? Because he's got teams that aren't as good. His recruits do not rank with OU. His recruits do not rank with Texas. He is not top 20 recruiting school every year, but he's top 20 team every year because he lets his team get wins. They go in and they beat Acorn State 89-2. And then they beat the next, and they beat the next. And then they don't believe they can lose. So they go and play in Oklahoma State, and guess what? They beat them. And now, holy cow, they really are good. So even when they lose to a Texas, it was a fluke. We're still great. Get wins. Play patsies. Nail some wins down. How can you build it be a Kansas State? Oh, so much to go over. I've only covered half of this, and I think I've gone a half an hour. I will do one of these again and cover the second half, but I want you to remember there's a lot of ways to kill confidence. We have so much to cover. There's self-talk. There's a ton. But we will cut this for now. You've stayed too long. Remember, get yourself some wins. Believe in yourself. You have extreme talent. Guys, you wouldn't be here if you didn't. Thank you very much.